Hey, I'm starting the show a few minutes early. Tonight, new captures from the system. We're going to go through some nerd stuff. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Not much is going on in ufology, but something is always going on over here at the UFO lab. So, kicking it off a couple of minutes early, we had somebody drop by that I film from time to time in my thermal cameras, and this person showed by, and we had a little fun. Let's take a look at this magnificent animal. Saw this guy show up last Saturday. He stuck around for a little while. Um, I've been training my dome cameras on this radar unit, and I figure if something flies by, I'll get it on multi dome cameras. I really want to get stuff on multi cameras, and I have. For some reason, this guy looks like a Charlie to me. Charlie the Brown Hawk. And yeah, the radar was not on. Otherwise, it makes a slight hum from the rotation. I don't think this thing cares. We don't have a lot of white birds here. We don't have seagulls. So know your area. So when you're sky watching, you know what's supposed to be there and what's not. And yeah, I film a lot of white UFOs, but we don't have seagulls to account for that. Pretty rare because they don't have anything here to eat. They're not desert type animals.
Red alert!
Hey, how are you doing? I'm Tom King. This is the 4K Skywatching Podcast. We're live on Friday night, as we always are live on Friday, pretty much every night. This is episode 39 of the 4K Skywatching Podcast. The sightings continue to continue. Back on episode 26, I talked about how I'd recorded this orange disc for the second time in 2025. It flew by the third time. I think it's the same object, but we're going to dive into that tonight. I got something else I recorded too this week, which is some type of tube of light that I'd written both of these sightings off until I actually pulled them off the NVR and took a deeper look at that. So we have a whole bunch of different upgrades in the studio. I've done some audio upgrades. Somebody complained previously that the mic was going in and out. Yeah, I wasn't quite happy with that, so I'm using a different system. I refuse to buy another mic because I already have 4 of them. So one of these damn things has to work. How you doing, Tooth Seeker? Good to see you. So yeah, we're gonna go into a whole bunch of different stuff here tonight. So we're gonna go into those 2 sightings and what is or isn't happening with ufology. It's kind of a slow period. Right now. This is a live view of the radar camera. Yesterday, I actually came across what I think will be the successor to the radar, because I don't think the radar is going to last. I'm going to have to swap that out. I found another camera system that I absolutely love. It has 9 cameras on it. And it's cheaper than the radar. I'd probably have to sell the radar and get this system, but it would cover everything. I saw that and I absolutely fell in love with the goddamn thing, thinking, I gotta get it. And just when I say I'm not buying any more goddamn cameras, I come up with another one. So don't ever believe that. Every time I buy a camera, I say this is the last one. I'm not getting any more. And stuff happens and I end up getting another one. See here. So we got all kinds of things going on. Switch views here. And I believe I got my email here. So if you need to get a hold of me, this is a channel made by Skywatchers for Skywatchers. So if get this running. Got all kinds of little technical stuff. If you need to get a hold of me, that is my email address right there on the screen. I check that a few times a day. So there's some things happening. One of our viewers from San Antonio, Texas, reached out to me, and he sent me his channel and told me his name. And I had some time, spent some time, and went through his channel. Jesus Christ, does this guy have footage? I mean, this guy started his channel when YouTube was created. So you just go back and watch his oldest footage. It's right about when YouTube came out. And he's been posting and never really let up. He's been posting so long. He probably has like a flying humanoid in his collection or something to that effect. So I'm looking at his footage. There's about 4 or 5 at least that I want to study. One thing interesting is he is using a Sony camera. So he's using an old camera with freaking tape, right? So everybody says, oh, that's fake. That's fake. He's filming stuff in 2022 on 8mm, I think. So that stuff needs to be enhanced into 4K. And look at that. So that's something I'm going to take a look at. And yes, this is the 4K Skywatching Podcast. And we're going to go into that. I'm going to go into some Topaz AI stuff. So what happened this week was I filmed something and I didn't think much of it. I just kind of caught my eye, it flew by, and I thought, well, wait, what was that? Rewound it, and I looked at it. I thought, is this one of those things flying by again? Because previously on episode 25-26, the last time I captured one of these type of objects, I worked with AI and extrapolated some math that I recorded 2 of these in 2025. And I kind of estimated how many hours of watching one of these cameras it takes until one of them flies by. Now, this is not a UFO depth capture. Those are different ones I've shown you. This was just when you happen to be watching the stream. And this happened. So I was looking at the math, and yeah, the numbers are about right. So we're going to revisit some of that. So I estimated about every 75 hours or so of watching, one of these is going to fly by. And I don't believe, no way, it happens to fly by while I'm looking up at a specific zoomed in spot up there. It just flies by, and I captured the only one in the sky. This means that these things are freaking flying around all over the place. You just got to be aiming, with your gear. And in time, you will just collect it by dumb luck because of the hours put in and the collection system. Hey, AZ Motherload is here. Um, yeah, man, we got a funny story. He went out to a place up in Scottsdale, Cave Creek area and found this alien shop. I've never heard of it before, but they got UFO stuff up to jack, man. They got grays holding M16s, smoking weed, drinking beer, all kinds of stuff, lawn furniture and statue stuff you can get. Hey, T-Fox, good to see you. And Analog Kid, all right. So anyway, yeah, I got that. If you watch previous episodes, I got a PVS 7 and then ran out of money. And I came up with this cool scheme. Get a new credit card. So when that credit card bill comes in, you pay it with the new credit card. It gives you another 30 days to come up with some cash. Fuck it. So yeah, I'm going to get a camera, I think, for that other credit card, or for the camera for the PVS 7. So let's start, while we're at it, let's look at the Dan images here. Because this is funny. Okay, so let's start back here. All right, so this is this place, and you could see all of these statues there, and they're full size, and God, they're gigantic. Dan was saying these things are going somewhere between, he can type it in the chat, but between like $2,000 and $3,000 for something that's human height, and the stuff that's taller, like that one that's like 12 feet high there, man, it's like that steals. And then there's one in the background holding like a classic M16, and then there's one that looks like that dude. I think his name is Tupa Cabra on Twitter, and he's the guy who does all these. There's a couple of lowrider. They're like lowrider smoking or something. There's a guy on Twitter that does AI stuff with everybody, and yeah, there's another one. I think Dan went home with one of these, and that's gonna ouch the credit card. And look at all this UFO shit. Jesus, he's got ones down there. Those ones that are smaller, you can get on a fucking payment plan probably. And look how he's got them chained and shit. So you can't do a smash and grab, like just pick it up and run and shit and have a mask on, throw it in the back of a car and take off. Not that anybody's thinking that, but stranger things have happened. So that's a shop. We were supposed to do a helicopter trip tomorrow, but because of the weather here is unpredictable, we really don't want to go up in the weather and have a helicopter blow around and kill the skywatchers. So that'll be another day. So that's cool. God, what was he saying? The saucer is 2,400. See, that's the PVS 7 was a lot more than that. So, but man, I got to stop this UFO addiction, or go to like UFO AA or some shit, and there'd be like a circle of people. Say I'm a ufologist and I'm addicted to this stuff, and I spend so much a month that if I don't stop, I'm going to be working a glory hole over off 7th and Van Buren. Because I know I'm not the only one who spends money on this crazy shit. a few years back. Average guy might have a phone and then a camera. We go to Skywatch now, dude show up with night vision, dude show up with thermal, dude show up with PVS-7, PVS-14. People show up with P1000s. It's like P9. It's like they give P1000s to Skywatchers and Cracker Jacks. Everyone freaking has that. Most of the Skywatchers, probably the people watching this channel, have 6, 7, 8, 9 cameras. So yeah, they're spending money too. So let's get into the footage, because the show's always about footage, right? All right, so let's go previously on a back edition of 4K Skywatching.
This is the thing that went phew and flew by. So there it went right through the center. There it is. There it is through Kianovia. So if I had a target, that's the orange pumpkin capture. I'm freezing it right here from Wednesday night. It flew right through the center again, as predicted. From left to right, as I predicted. It trolled, as I kind of predicted. And it went by fast. I didn't get too many frames out of it. Okay, so what happened here is this is the same 620 at 30. So this is the color camera. So I yanked every single camera off the NVR system, and I checked at 625 and 30 seconds, did anything show up? And that's what we're going to run through real quick. This is the thermal. I don't see anything zipping by. This is color 3. I don't see anything. This is thermal 1, light hot. I don't see anything. There's the object zipping by. It's round, and that's about all I can tell you about it. There's no wings on it. There's the previous one in slow motion. And to me, it looks like the same thing. It looks like a match. That whatever it was by Wednesday is a match that of the object that I captured just a couple of months ago. So here's the one from Wednesday again. I can't exactly tell if it's rotating. This one looks like it's rotating, and it's heading down, but it did fly right through the center of the screen. This is the one from January. So that is a little bit of a compilation of what I've shot for the last 6 months with the new one, the orange disc, added into the mix. I have no idea what the hell that is. Hey, I just got, maybe it's an egg. I don't even know if it's orange. It could be because that's at sunset here. So it could be just the reflection of the sun off it. I'm going to go through this quick. So this is the object coming out. And what you can do with something this quick, I usually don't look at this stuff. This stuff I usually just dismiss. But this piques my curiosity because it's disc-shaped and I've seen it twice. Now, if I'm looking all the time, really hard, and I'm looking around, is this up there every day somewhere? Just cruising over my town, it's cruising over your town. This isn't just localized here. This is all over the place. This is a UFO hotspot. In Arizona, I live in a good place to capture this. So there it is. It's some of the best shots are the last two where it went off the screen. I'm going to open up the AI now, and we're going to take a look at. But there's gold mined in the sky to collect. It's up there. We just got to do the homework, man. Got to do the homework. Got to get the 95 people off the covered wagon and start pushing and get the fuck off and start pushing in the back. So that was the strange captures in section 1. Now, this orange disc that I captured last week, that's kind of screwed my head a little bit. I'm wondering, I've never really seen it before. I mean, now I'm getting, because of the 4K or the 2K dome has 45 power zoom, I can go past 25x, which I've been limited to in the past, and I don't have autofocus issues. So now I'm zoomed in usually 25, 30 power. And I'm having these discs flying by, and I'm getting structured crap instead of a few pixels. So I'm wondering, how many of these do I have? How many? I captured it twice in 5 months, just when I happened to be watching happened to be watching the feed. So this kind of made me think, how much of this stuff do I have sitting around on these NVRs? How many of these orange discs are here? So what I did is I started doing some extrapolation of this with ChatGPT, and let me show you the numbers here. So this orange disc that flew by last week. Now I've seen this twice in 5 months, and just happened to be looking. So how many times have I actually captured this? That's what I'm wondering. How many times have I actually captured this? So let's look at this. Let's look at some stats here. I currently, let's say I watch that one camera, 1 hour a day, 30 days. I caught it twice in 150 hours of footage I've watched. So in 5 months, it's 50 hours, means I've caught, let's say, that orange disc once every 75 hours, right? So let's say we're going to go this with the baseline here. So if I increase this and I watch all day, instead of just 1 hour, watch all day, times 30, 360 hours a month, based upon one UFO per 75 hours, means that sitting around on this NVR, or about 5 of these a month. So that's once a week. So that means whatever direction I happen to point, and it becomes like a straw looking up, you're not seeing the whole sky, you're seeing a portion of it. That thing happens to fly through from left to right, go right through the middle, and once every 75 hours that happens. So if I were to save all my footage and sit here and somehow watch it, it's impossible, watch all day, I'd get about, one a week. So continuing on, so that's a baseline, about one a week. So let's say I put up 20 cameras, same zoom, random placements. I've captured more sky. Every one of these captures 12 hours a day, and there's 20 people looking at 12 hours a day. So here's what that comes up to be. The estimation of that, if I had 20 of these up, I'd get per month 4.5. With this new math, I would have 95 captures a month, or 24 a week. 24 of these a week. That's what the math turns out to. Because there's no way that I just put the camera up and just happen to capture it. This thing's got to be going where the camera isn't, in other directions. So if I put 20 cameras up, 20 people watching every minute of that thing's all over the fucking place. What that means is we have heavy UAP traffic, extrapolating the data from those two sightings. Just at that orange disc, that doesn't include the fucking jellyfish, flying humanoids. That doesn't include these orbs. What the fuck is on the thermal thing that's flying around the cursor? That was in between these orange disc captures and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff up there to be had. What's the UFO community doing? Sitting around waiting for someone to figure it out. Fucking.
Yep, and that was a previous episode, 26 of 4K Skywatching, where I was doing some basic math that this is eventually going to happen again. And it did briefly, and this one flew by a little bit faster, and we have a lot more detail on what happened this week. But I really don't like this stuff, to tell you the truth. I like the stuff that I film that's even farther away, like the M video, where I can actually see it in real time. But hey, you can crap in one hand and, the saying. But yeah, that's what it is. So this one I blew up into 8K, and that's how I got the screenshot that you see. It looks egg-shaped, looks dish-shaped. I was just thinking it has to be cotton at first. No. And then the other thing I recorded was a tube. So now let's go to the media here. So I took the original orange disc that flew by in June, and I reprocessed that, kind of how I processed the other one. So I can put this into 8K. So the kind of process here that I'm doing, I've seen other people do stuff, but they don't really get into details of what they're doing. So I'm using Topaz AI to convert the 2K into 8K. And then from there, you print out the pictures individually. So you got these 8K pictures of each frame of whatever the UFO is. And then we're going to see in a little bit, you import those pictures into Topaz Sharpen or the other Topaz products they have. And then you can look at it from there. Another thing you can do is you can reassemble those 8K images after you process them in Topaz Sharpen. You can do like a batch job. You figure out this is how I want to do it. Then you sharpen those images. Then you bring every single image back in DaVinci Resolve, and then you zoom in on that portion, and then now you have a blow up of that. So I started working on what happened in June earlier, but I didn't have enough time. That was the one that was going down. That was looks like it was rotating. Man, every image I got of that thing looks like a disc. So let's chill out and take a look at that. That's the original video. There it is after an 8K process. This isn't done in DaVinci Resolve yet, but you could see it. It looks like a disc that's spinning. And what I am seeing here is like a cutout, like a piece that was missing that looks like that piece is rotating. And what that reminds me of is that Yukon UFO image that leaked. Remember the shoot downs during the Biden administration, and one of them was up in Alaska, and they shot that thing down, and they leaked an image of it, and it was like a circular UFO with a section of it missing, and this is what I'm talking about. So it looks something like that. What do you guys think? Leave your comments, leave your chat. If you're here on the live stream, we can talk real time what the hell this is doing. Yeah, Truth Seeker, that's actually kind of what's going on right now. I've talked about this before, but I'm actually doing it. So what I did was that camera that was looking at the hawk from last Saturday. I took that whole camera feed, and somebody gave me a stack of external drives they didn't need. They're not huge, 1-2 terabyte, but I'm using them. So I hooked this up to the NVR and I said, give me 7 hours of that camera looking at the radar pole. Then I take that and I open it up into UFODAP's optical tracking data acquisition unit. It's a mouthful there. And I'm processing it. So while that camera does not have the drivers and whatnot to watch UFODAP live, you can still use any camera, any surveillance camera. You can open up UFODAP's OTDAU software and then run it just like it was doing it. You can't do it in live, but as long as you get it done right. So then I don't have to sit there and watch, say, 75 hours of that camera. UFODAP is watching that. But about 2 to 3 months from now, according to the math, I'm going to capture another one of these type of things. But if I'm using UFODAP too, and it's a little bit time consuming because you have to take it and run it and whatnot, then I'm going to pull more UFOs off that drive. So that's how I refer to pulling these things off the drive or out of the sky. They're up there. There's gold mine up there. We just got to do the right fishing and get them. So yes, AI through UFODAP can do it. Now, there's also SkyHub 360. So I don't know how that software works. That might be able to do it. And there's another guy in the UFODAP Discord who's a 4K Skywatching follower here that watches. He's writing his own software that does all this stuff. So I'm waiting for him to release that. So there is more stuff than UFODAP. There's other free means to do that. All right, so let's move into what I shot, which is brief. Okay, So let's take this out of here and let's move to this. All right, this is going to be a compilation um, of what I shot. So it's going to go by real quick, and then it's going to do some, some freeze framing and blow ups. Yes, that is how fast it went by. So there it is, enhanced. There it is, kind of stabilized in the corner. And here's the object that I recorded this Tuesday that looks like some type of egg-shaped or dish-shaped craft. What do you guys think? Does this look like what Jake Barber and the others? I mean, remember Skywatcher summoned one of these, right? And they got one single still image of it. And I got maybe 30 or 40 still images of it. So if we go back, let's see, this is the one I got the thumbnail, I think. Is that one? So yes, it's some type of egg-shaped looking thing that flew by pretty goddamn fast. It was below the clouds because there were some clouds out too. So this is the next capture of the orange disc type thing. The other time I got the orange disc was at like 5. So it could be the pollution. It could be, because we have a pollution of red dust in the air. And when the sun goes down, it turns the sky and things like that red. So I'm just kind of skipping through the frames of that capture. So that was Tuesday. It went by fast. I don't know what it is. I prefer to have videos where the thing is moving and I could steer the camera with it. That typically happens when they're higher up and farther away. God, if I said I summoned this stuff, let's say I didn't have any ethics. And I said, yeah, man, I summoned that. Look at my abilities. I'm better than Chris Bledsoe, but I don't roll that way. That just showed up. That's just dumb luck. And you can capture this stuff too. And people at home have, and they contact me. So the show's going to expand more. We're going to grow more numbers. I'm going to start bringing on different guests, whether it's live or interviewed in the field. So this isn't like a podcast where the guy never seen a UFO before, or a podcast talking about some other dude's podcast. This is a podcast where shit goes down, where shit happens, where it's live, we're productive, we do things. This is a community. This is your podcast. You can come on here if you want. I mean, I'm open to all kinds of things. So that was the first capture. And yeah, people send stuff to me. Sometimes it's a single frame. And I look at it, go, I can't tell. Is it a bug? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know where you're pointing or how your stuff works. So that was that capture. Now, that was on the 2K dome camera, and I was pointing north towards Scottsdale. So it was moving towards me. It went up from the corner. So that means the object is flying. It would be flying towards me. It would be heading south. I did check through the system. There wasn't any spikes in the Cosmic Watch that are noteworthy. It did fly in front of the thermal cameras. The fork of the 3, I looked because it's on the same NVR. So you pull it up on one, they all come up, right? So I didn't find them there because I'm looking all over. I'm trying to get a capture of multi-cameras. The next capture here did happen on multi-cameras. This happened at night. This object flew by. Shit, it just streaked through going thousands of miles an hour. And I went, oh, cool. I think I just saw a meteor. So I'm playing this back. And I'm looking, I'm going, this isn't like any typical meteor that I see. And I went, aha, wait a minute. I got a match for this. This looks like something Steve Barone captured in 2019. Steve Barone is a really good skywatcher up in Las Vegas, and he's hands down the best guy doing everything. He posts videos every day. I check out his channel all the time. So I went through looking through his channel for it. So let's just show you what I got. So this will be a whole bunch of them, but with Steve. So this is going to start out with Steve's video, and then it's going to go into mine. So this is something Steve was following, that object, and this tube right there flew by. I first saw it in the Thomas Fessler Disclosure Tonight podcast, and we kind of giggled. Yeah, it looks, there's a little string behind it or something. Now, this was filmed with the Luna Optics night vision, and you could see it just looks like a cigar that's all lit up. If this is a UAP, it might be, and not, something mundane, it's an interesting object because it's unlike the shapes of other things that we get. So there it is a few times. And this is what I captured coming up here on multi-camera. So that thing flies down, and then it's on the camera that's up, and it's on the east camera. It almost looks like incoming fire on my radar pole. Tell you the truth, it's like somebody's trying to take that thing out. It was on 5 cameras. It was on that camera too. So here is a zoom in of the object stabilized. And it is slowed down. You can see that this is a tube. This is unlike regular meteors you see. This is like a solid tube of light. So there's Steve Brown's above. There's mine below. Recalibrated. There is a loop. So his is much cleaner. You can definitely tell. So what are we looking at here? We have to look at this with a critical eye at all times. Are we looking at just meteor, but on 2 different optic systems? My 2K camera, all the cameras, it's a freaking tube. So I figured when I looked at it, it's just a meteor until I started looking carefully. I was telling Clive, we are kind of like, this might not be, if you got kids watching, you get them out of the room. We're like intergalactic detectives that are looking at alien stuff with a freaking jeweler's glass going, which pubic hair belongs to which alien? We're looking forensically at stuff. We don't just dismiss it, go, that's a bird. Oh, that's lightning. We look carefully at this stuff. And it looks like a tube to me. So let me show you Steve's channel. And yeah, speaking of, I forgot, a little update here on what's going on around on flight radar. Now, there were a couple weather balloons over here in Texas that I saw. They're not here anymore. Or there's the other one. And then over in Minnesota, you had 5 of these up. If you go to flight radar and you rewind it to earlier today, you'll see 5 weather balloons that were up here on there. And I think they got shot down. I think Truth Seeker, he went and got out his laser and he popped them, right? I mean, you could admit it. No, I mean, but did you pop those balloons, Truth Seeker? Is that what happened? Because I figured maybe, if Trump didn't shoot those weather balloons down, maybe you did. Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys, Emilio, you're up there in Las Vegas, and you are getting part of, is this Priscilla? I can't remember. It's all the rage on around Phoenix. Like, hey, we're getting rain. We're getting rain. All right, so right here is Steve Brown's channel. And it's up in the description too. Let me get his stuff ready here. Made some new title graphics. Where the hell did they go? Oh, here we go. No, I fucked that up. All right. Let's just go back to Steve's site. I can't find the tube on here. Oh, there we go. I cannot find the tube on here. I don't know where it's at. But this is Anomalous Las Vegas. He's got all kinds of cool videos. But I don't know where the hell his tube is. I was looking for it. And down here, it's going. He's got millions of videos. I thought it was that one. Or no, not that one. There's one where he actually has some AI of it somewhere. What the hell? He's got an F ton of freaking videos here. So anyway, it's not on there. Not that I can find it. So if you want to see his stuff, what I recommend is after this channel, if you're not done watching Fessler or whatever, watch UFOs over Las Vegas. It's linked in the description. This was made by Clive Christopher. He's one of the Skywatchers that our prod team works with. He made a documentary about Steve Barone and his Las Vegas sightings. So it's free. It used to be on like Tubi or whatever, and you have to pay for it. His stuff eventually moves free all over the place. So you can watch it on YouTube and you can see Steve Barone's best stuff. He's got some really good shit. I can't find it though. It's all mixed in that AI. He's got this red light, this red UFO. It's the best damn red UFO footage I've seen. I've seen this thing in person, but I wasn't able to get it recorded. But Steve Barone did, and it's somewhere on his channel, but it's on UFOs over Las Vegas. It's linked above. It shows that. He got that on Luna Optics, and what you see is a red orb, but you could see there's no structure. It's like a photon torpedo of energy. You know, some UFOs are not craft. They're simply orbs that are somehow associated with these craft. The best working theory is these are basically their versions of drones that they launch from a larger ship to go out and give them camera views or whatever they're going to do and study the environment, and then they go back to a larger ship. That's most likely what these drones do at sometimes. Sometimes they're just by themselves. Steve has a really good video of that. He's got a video of that light tube that I showed you, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So check out Steve. This is the tube that's been enhanced. And you can see the best on this view, but if you rewind the video and look through the other views, it's a tube of light in every one. So normally I would just say, yeah, it's just light. But when it shows up and it's a tube in every single freaking shot, then you got to at least save that. Save that and take a closer look at it. So here's the object here stabilized. I don't know. What do you guys think, man? These are the two captures from this week. Got some curious reasons. Yes, Topaz I bought on a party raging Black Friday and thought, yeah, man, I'm going to spend like $400 on this software to analyze UFOs. And the next day I did fucking what? Stop buying shit on Black Friday. And it turns out you can't buy the software anymore. You got to rent it. And then it's a never ending, give us more money for a new version. Give us more money for a new version. But I at least own it. And now I'm glad I bought it because I used the crap out of this Topaz software. There will be a time when we meet, Amelia. I'm going to be heading up to North Vegas at some point. We, I think, have passed winter in the desert. It's going to be cool here, like in the 80s next week. So Skywatch is going to be happening. I'm going to go up to South Mountain and take all my cameras, or not all of them, not possible, but a lot of them, and go up there and film and use that as a live backdrop, and probably do a Skywatch. I'm going to see what kind of signal I got up there. Now, I could buy Starlink and then do this live remotely, right? And thinking about it, but I got to pay one credit card to pay off the other credit card and get a third credit card for that shit. Hey, Bubble, how you doing? Yeah, I have some cameras here from around town. This is a live camera from downtown Phoenix, from one of those high rises there. I also found one down at Tucson at your train station or wherever. Let's see what else we got. And we got south camera here. Whole nother angle. Let me find some other angles here. This is looking towards South Mountain. This is downtown Phoenix pointing south, and this is the east part of Sky Harbor over there. So let's get into Topaz. So yeah, nothing right now. It was raining and thundering so hard last night that I thought, oh man, if lightning hits this pole, it's going to blow everything up. So I went outside at about midnight. It was pouring. Shit, and just ran out there in the shorts and lowered that thing a bit. Still could get hit, but it made me feel better. So yeah, let's get into some nerd lessons here. And in ufology right now, there's not a lot going on. There's a new whistleblower that came out on weaponized, and I hadn't had time to listen to that. But it's more the same. Another guy saw a triangle. Is this another guy who got kind of kicked out, like the last two whistleblowers that were on weaponized? That the only reason they're talking is because they lost their security clearance, and they're trying to say, look, I'm not crazy, I want my security clearance back. And now they can't get a pension, they're screwed. They spent all that time in the government, and they went through DOPSR and all that stuff. So I don't know if this new guy is more of the same story. So nobody can actually sneak the evidence out. About the only way you're going to do this, Tim Burchett was on Tucker Carlson earlier this morning, and he did an interview, and he kind of just shortly summed it up. It's up to the president, and that's it. So what happened in the last over the summer with these hearings and all this, we're going to get the Whistleblower Act, that died predictably. This ain't my first rodeo. I've been through about 31 of these trips around the, year after year, watching the bullshit go down. I know political theater when I see it. Paulina Luna is going to come out saying, well, look, I tried. Did you call President Trump? Then shut the fuck up with these hearings. This is just showing the public that we're doing something. Congress never fixes our problems. They just exacerbate them and create some more. So it's up to the president, or Tim was saying, somebody to walk out with something. You're not going to walk out of these places. From what I hear, they weigh you. And when you come in and go out, you got to weigh pretty much the same weight. It's going to take basically a person who has a small camera. Remember that Christopher Walken scene about that watch? You know how stuff gets into prison? They got cell phones in prison, right? How do they have cell phones in prison and you can't get cell phones inside the Pentagon? Because this is run out of the Pentagon. We're a CIA office. It's CIA and the Pentagon operated. So you can't get a cell phone in there doing the prison method of smuggling in something and then taking it out of a plastic bag, take some photos, screenshots of videos or whatever, take it out. I mean, come on. It's got to be kind of like that watch. You're going to have to take that thing, not just once, because one new video isn't enough. You're going to have to go get the mother load, right? The Pentagon mother load. You're going to have to smuggle that phone in day after day after day and just keep walking like nothing's happening. Record over and over and over on that burner phone and come back, keep assembling that, and boom, UFO cover-up's over. Person who smuggled the phone in is infamous. It's going to go down the history books and not be forgotten like the rest of us. But ain't nobody, and it doesn't take balls. It takes something a little looser than that. So it's either that or up to the president. And the rest of the stuff going on is just kind of noise. Just keep going around and around and around. Skywatchers and other people can do something because, there's a gold mine up there to mine in the sky, and there's all kinds of stuff to find. Yeah, you know what's weird? Is I don't know about you, Mr. Bubble, but when I used to drive to Tucson, there were no farms there. There was the aircraft place. There was a aircraft graveyard halfway after Picancho Peak when you're going down 17. You'd see aircraft graveyard, and now that's gone. That was moved into Tucson, and now there's farms all over the freaking place. And that aircraft graveyard is where Wendell Stevens got into big trouble and went to prison. He went to prison for 5 years for a couple underage girls. A lot of people forgot about that. What's messed up, he gets out of prison and goes right back to the UFO Congress. Here's the slideshow, everybody. Everybody acts like nothing happened. But not everybody. There's some people sitting here, that they don't have any power going, what the fuck? The fuck? You just do that. Google Wendell Stevens and you'll find out. I'm not going to get into that. All right, we're going to now move into the topaz. Yeah, who has snow yet? We don't have any snow. Arizona eventually cools down after it gets snowed up in Flagstaff. That brings a thermal blanket, and we lose the hundreds and 90s, and we go from 90s to 70s. There's real no 80s here anymore. So let's look at topaz here. So this disc that you're seeing here, there's a saucer looking thing. Let me explain. Over on the left upper hand image, it says normal. That is the image before enhancement. The other ones over here render out in these different windows. So let's do some lessons here and using Topaz AI, Sharpen AI. And this is a pretty dang powerful computer that we have running this. Put this up. And on top of that, we also have Photo AI. All right. So Photo AI is another Topaz product. I think they rent these. So let's go through some of this. Close that all down. All right. You never heard of Wendell Stevens? Oh, okay. Well, that's right. Wendell Stevens. Let me give a brief rundown of that. Wendell Stevens served in I believe, the Air Force up around Washington, and what he did is he was, and this is just from memory, he basically unloaded gun camera footage from planes that went up, chased UFOs, filmed them, and then he sent that gun camera footage to Washington, never to be seen again, sitting around in that vault, right? Congress can't get nothing done. How come Paulina Luna doesn't even talk about getting the shoot downs declassified, getting a still image? She got absolutely nothing done. And these people like her, they seem normal when they're talking about UFOs. And then they talk about something else and you go, that motherfucker's batshit crazy. So we're going to open up a whole batch here. Let's see. It's number 26. So let's go back into the Sharpen program. All right, so we're going to open up another image with this. And what you can do is you can click on these and see what they do. You can add grain to them here, and that will process and add some grain. Make them kind of grainy. So you can look at pictures in different situations here. So one thing, there's a British guy that does a lot of photo analysis, and he uses this. And what he does is he enhances this stuff, and then, like I said, he puts them back into a video and blows it up. That's how I mean, he took that video of the object getting shot down, or no, the missile intercept. Remember the three little objects that came out? He blew that shit up into like 400 pixels a piece. Man, I don't think you can really get that much resolution out of that. Let me open up some more photos here. So, yes. Folders within folders within folders. We're going to look at the thumb. So what I loaded is the thumbnail that you see in the description. I loaded that image, and let's check this out. You'll see the image before. So I'm going to go here and we're going to find it, and there is that image. And I did it in the Sharpen program. So we'll, oh no, I did it in Topaz Photo AI. Let's see what this one does. 600%. That's processing there. Well, that's processing. And open it up in Photo AI too. So let's switch over to that one. This one is loading. This is a different Topaz product here. So there's a couple ways. Look at this. You can look at it single. So scale that. And there you go. That's how I came up with the thumbnail. There's the original image before AI processing. And yeah, you gotta use basically some common sense when you're going through this stuff, and not overdo it, because I mean it looks like it's pyramid shaped. It's in that one. So what's the audience here think? Yeah, now you can look up Wendell. There is on my channel is a slideshow from Wendell Stevens. This slideshow came from the move this around. The slideshow came from the Skywatcher conference back in 1997. There was a group called Skywatcher International, and Bill Hamilton was the, I guess, state director of it. And the whole purpose of this was kind of like a different type of organization than MUFON. MUFON is it's actually a pretty good group. They have a lot of good state chapters. I've never heard anything bad about the LA chapter. I heard they're really good. It just depends on the people that volunteer to do it. Now, on an organizational level, they're kind of fucked up. I mean, they've never really had their shit together. They've been doing this since UFO dirt, right? And then you got a guy like Elizondo come in and eclipse everything they've done. So, so people-wise, they're good. They just have a few bad apples here and there, but I don't know if they'll ever get their shit together. So Skywatch was a group that would go out and skywatch, like we're doing now. We would have people that would go out. So if a report happened, we'd go out. So after the Phoenix Lights happened, Bill said, well, I was state director. You are now going to be promoted state director. So I was state director of Skywatch. So calls that would come in, I'd go out usually about 4 or 5 times a month on different locations and look at people's videos and whatnot all over the place that they found. And if we thought it was a hot spot, there were about 11 of us that would just go out and bring all of our gear. Now, we had our first convention, and the backstory is the thing was founded by a guy who worked in crash retrievals. And I can't remember his name. It was always like a colonel or something like that. And anyway, this colonel guy said he had been involved in crash retrievals firsthand. And so he was the guy who started the group. No one knew what his name was except Bill Hamilton, apparently. And Bill said he saw his DD-214. He said the guy was actually in the military. And Bill said he vetted the guy. The guy's supposed to show up at the Skywatcher conference. I'm one of the speakers. Bill's one of the speakers. Jim Delatesso, Wendell Stevens, Jeff Willis was there. And I filmed it. So the results of what I filmed, I posted on my channel. So that's why you see Wendell Stevens on there. Wendell was pissed because Bill did not promote this and no one showed up. It bombed, completely bombed. He was talking to the only people in the audience were speakers. And then we just rotate going up as a freaking joke. But I recorded it. And if you look at those slides, almost 90% of what Wendell Stevens shows were from two sources, Joe Clowers and Mike Hawkins. And they fake UFO stuff left and right to make money. So Wendell Stevens had no filter. Anything you sent him, he put in that goddamn slideshow and went around showing people, making his money off of it. This is pathetic. He had absolutely no standards of vetting any photographs at all. So I put this up for posterity. You can go watch Wendell Stevens' slideshow of fake shit. He gets out of prison, shows that, and people are like, yeah, no big deal. You can go to prison and, you can, I guess, murder people and get out of prison and go right back on News Nation and start talking about stuff. Anyway, that's Wendell Stevens. He's serving jail time. Somebody else replaced him. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe here. We're going to do some remote Skywatches soon. So this is a proactive channel. It doesn't cost you nothing to subscribe to the place. Let's go back to some lessons here with Topaz. So that was one image. Let me flip over here to sharpen. That's the same image in sharpen right here. So you can see the difference that, one might do something that the other one doesn't. So let's move on to another. I also did this with the tube. I also blew that thing up. So let's look at just another image. So this is the image directly after it. So after that thing that had kind of a pyramid on top, look at the next image. That's what you do. Lagging a little bit behind here. That's more like it. So yeah, that's the image I blew up was 14. This is 15. So you really can't trust any of this moon looking stuff here. That's all, that's all done by AI. But it's interesting. And there's some of these other things, they don't really do anything. I'll just click on them. They really don't do a lot to help. but you never know. There's no face in here. There's no text. Let's see what that does. The idea is you can take this to another level by analyzing this stuff in Topaz and processing these pictures. You can do them one at a time, or you can do like a batch process. Then you import those back into your media editor if it does, like 8K or something like this, because this thing will blow images up to like 16,000 pixels or something. It's just crazy. And a lot of places they top off. Some of the cheaper editors maybe are on 4K. They don't do 8K or any of that other stuff. So you might need Adobe After Effects. You might need DaVinci Resolve. Now, DaVinci Resolve has two different types. They have a free version, which I say go ahead and download that. Go ahead and give that a shot. And then they have a paid version. And the paid version has AI type processing. And the AI processing, I use that for voices. So let's say a lot of these old Art Bell shows, you hear them and you hear this, you hear a tinning type sound. You hear the microphone recording itself. This will get rid of that and just leave the voices. But you got to kind of watch that because it'll also filter out music too. And then you won't get the music, or if it has background type stuff. So you kind of play around with that. That's in the paid version. They also have also thing you can swap out voices. You could train, let's say Stanton Friedman's voice, and then layer it over what I'm doing and have Stanton Friedman's voice talking as other people, for example. You can swap your wife's voice and all kinds of stuff. It does all kinds of stuff. It does video rotoscoping, where it'll cut out the background on the fly. It does a lot of really powerful stuff. The advent of AI, besides, just text and, writing term papers and shit, it really has helped with video to clean up just bad old audio garbage and whatnot. I took the Ramey memo and I ran it through here. We covered that on a previous episode. I'm trying to see what does the text say underneath on the Ramey memo. And the Ramey memo is what was in the hand of Jesse Marcel when he was holding that fake debris, saying this is what happened at the Roswell crash, when actually it was a piece of paper talking about the recovered disc that got shipped out to Wright-Patterson. So there is the two captures from last week. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'm going to keep running the system. Apparently the clock has been reset, that I have something like 75 more hours of watching the 2K or the 4K dome camera. And then I have the other process where if I'm not watching, I can just take chunks of what the surveillance system captured and run it through one of these other computers that used to mine Bitcoin and are just sitting here doing nothing. So I can run them through that. And if it's 1-to-1. So if it takes 1 hour to record it, it takes 1 hour for UFODAP to run through that video. They can't like speed it up or anything like that. But that's the only thing I know of. If you guys know of other AI type software that can look through things, tag something, but this tags it, looks through it as a bird, plane, whatever. And that way it can look through hours we just physically can't. We can't be there to do it. So I'm trying to make a new freaking habit of at least using one of these machines. I got 3 other ones that I can run, but I want to just do it with one and kind of have a dedicated thing, like set the camera up, leave it there all day and zoom in on a certain point, and then put the thing on an external, plug down another computer, target it with UFODAP, saying, now you go look through this footage and you find me every weird thing that happens. It makes the folders. You look through the folders, you pull out more footage. Previously, before I had all this crazy shit, I would get like one really, really interesting UFO about every 6 to 9 months. And now it's scattered. It's more than that. Sometimes it's, what I find is when I get one in 1 week, Then I'll get kind of a few and then it dies off. And I'm sure a lot of you people watching that are Skywatchers, same thing happens. It's like all of a sudden, it like pours in. There's all kinds of stuff you collect. This dead. This just dead. And you're like bored going, geez, did they leave? Is anything happening at all? So that's kind of how it goes. But maybe if this thing that, that flew by, this egg, whatever, if that's even a UAP, then maybe the clock got reset on 75 hours. But I'm going to keep watching. That's what I do. And some of you guys are probably going to end up on the show. If you want to, just reach out to me. I gave you the email address. Let me drop that one more time on here and find this for people, because people always ask me about it, and I made a little graphic. So I'm probably going to tweak some of this stuff too here. That's how you can get a hold of me and send me your footage. I'll take a look at it and analyze it. Oh yeah, the TV show The Proof is out there got a hold of me, and they're writing a book. And they wanted it to include a still image that I shot from the Phoenix Lights video of 10 in the book. I said, yeah, sure. And they said, well, sign off on this image. And I looked at it, I go, that ain't my image. That's Mike Christian. And they're thinking, Mike Christian who? The person whose image he sent me, that I'm not going to say that's my image in the book. Get this freaking right, man. So I guess they're writing a book if anybody's going to watch it. Does anybody even read books from television shows? Like if Sightings television show put out a book, would anyone read that? No, it's visual. You want to watch it. So new graphics. How'd you guys like the audio this time? Was it better than the other audio? Because the other audio was coming off these little things here. And just for there's full transparency, I'm using NVIDIA built-in audio suppressors. So since I have these $3,000 graphics cards that came with a free computer, that graphics cards comes with some cool stuff. And one of them is a built-in audio suppressor. Its own AI stuff is being done through the GPU. And that is basically getting rid of the noise of the computer and the fans and all that other stuff around me. The other thing I'm using is video. They have a built-in NVIDIA screen blur and screen chroma key. Because I was thinking, I'm kind of getting sick of the background. I want to change this up. Do I get a freaking blue screen or green screen? Then I got to buy that shit from Amazon, get another credit card maybe, hook all that stuff up, light it, unfold that shit, put it somewhere. This NVIDIA stuff seems to work pretty cool. So we'll stick with that. And let me kill the email here. And let's wrap this up. Looks like pure energy to me. Now. What are you talking about, Mr. Tube? Are you talking about... Okay, True Secret. That was Mr. Tube. Mr. BoobTube, what did you think of that tube of light? I need to get polls in here. Do you guys think that was actual? You're going to look at that. And if you didn't shoot it, you're going to say, that's freaking goddamn weird meteor that looks weird. But why is it a tube on mine and a tube on Luna Optics? Two different recording systems. So another thing is, this egg might be that M video thing that's flying around. On previous episodes, I did some 4K blow-ups of different videos caught over the years, and this thing seems to shimmer, this object. It would be in one image, a square, the next one round, the next frame, something else. So it's almost like white phosphor that's showing something so fast that we need like 250 frames a second or something like that. That'd be whole nother camera system that would slow that down. I don't know. But this thing that I got Tuesday is like an egg or a saucer shape in all the images. The video's on there. Maybe I'll do a compilation and put that up to download. And that is wrong for the chat. Okay, let's put it right there. Got to get used to this. All right. Remember UFO, AZ UFO with what's his name hosted when Ted wasn't there. I think you're talking about Jim Nichols. The crew was tight. It was Ted Lohman, Jim Nichols, and Peggy Kane. And I heard that Jim had passed recently, I think in the last 12 months or so. Ted Lohman's son is still around. He commented on here one time. Nathan Lohman is his name. I think he's on Facebook because almost everyone is. And he said he has all of his dad's tapes. So, you know, Nathan Lohman, if you're watching, you have to convert that stuff to digital because there's a shelf life for VHS. It's biodegrading, it's deteriorating. Keep that stuff around the sun, you get magnets next to it, and it gets worse and worse and worse resolution. Some of my stuff really went to hell before I converted it. And some stuff couldn't convert at all. The tape was shot. It just freaking biodegraded. I don't know. Those guys were tight. I think Ted liked Wendell. Wendell was on that show a number of times. I'm talking about the AZ updates with Ted Lohman. Yeah, he was on there. He was pretty tight. Wendell was a guy down in Tucson. His daughter's still alive. So she inherited. And Wendell had, that's another thing. Wendell had, just like Ted Lohman, 1,000 VHS tapes. I mean, I remember I had 750 VHS tapes before I converted them to digital. And I hit them with a magnet and tossed them in the trash. And I kept a box of 30. They're still around, but the rest of them got demagnetized and tossed. Now, Ted Lohman, God, he had like 750, that were 1,000 back in 95. So I don't know when he quit. We all quit in like 2000s when we switched to out of VHS. Same thing with Wendell Stevens. He has a daughter. She got his UFO collection. I don't know what these people do with it. But that was, that's what I got to show you for tonight. This was episode 39 of 4K Skywatching Podcast. Episode 40 will be out. I can't believe I've got 40 of these down so far. When I started, I was all screwed up. I said, this is going to be a guaranteed shit show. You're guaranteed to see some stupid crap and all kinds of malfunctions. And I said, by the time it gets around to episode 56, 58, I should have stuff smoothed out. So we're getting there. This is only type of podcast I know like this that actively goes out and hunts UFOs, and we bring you along. I'm Tom King. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time on 4K Skywatching.